Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Salt and Burn This. I'm Sammy,
I'm Valerie.
and welcome to Season 3.
Season 3! Boom, 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 boom. I think we need to call and get some more theme music.
I know.
So that we don't do that again.
I don't mind a little, but it's not really air guitar, it's mouth guitar.
What do you call that?
Like, I didn't want to say it, but that's what it is, though. Cheers.
Oh, hey, cheers! Look at you! Look at
Yay.
me! Clink! I'll try
Clink.
not to spill it. I am super pumped for Season 3, because Season 2 was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, a little disappointed in this first episode.
You know what? Let's save our thoughts for the end, because I also have thoughts about this episode and opinions.
Okay, cool. So on a funny side story, you know, we always ask each other, how you doing, you know, and I pulled a muscle in my shoulder, but I pulled a muscle taking off my hoodie.
Oh, no.
And it hurts. I went to close my car door and I was like, ow! I mean, I actually said that as I closed the door and I looked around. I was like, God, I hope nobody heard me say that.
Oh, God.
It's almost as bad as when I threw my back out reaching for the tape when I was wrapping presents. Getting old sucks.
Oh.
Getting old sucks. So this pencil is quite heavy right now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh, and speaking of ow, one of the things that we were staging the other day with the opera was there's a handful of slaves that are dragged in on stage and they're thrown down and they're not beaten on stage, but the guards all have whips like, you better stay in line.
It's like in the triumphant scene, right? Or like when the father gets yep.
Yes, exactly. And this one super, when he got thrown down, he literally was so dramatic. He got thrown down to his hands and knees and he goes, "Oh!" And the director looked at me like, what's the matter with you? Because I was laughing so hard. She didn't hear it. She didn't see it, but I was howling because it was literally, oh! And I went up to him on the break and I said, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You can never do that again, but thank you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was only doing what I felt. I was like, so I wrote the title of this episode down wrong.
Okay.
Because I was just putting my thoughts together about it when I first start writing stuff down, and I wrote down Season 3, Episode 1, The 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, did they really?
I mean,
it is, but that would be one of the biggest spoilers, you know, of a title, because what's the investigation? Who are these things? What are these things? Yeah. So I wrote that down wrong.
That's fine. Well, the actual title of Season 3, Episode 1 is The Magnificent Seven. Sam and Dean realize they have an enormous task, hunting down the hundreds of demons that escaped from the Devil's Gate. Written by Eric Kripke and directed by Kim Manners.
Hooray!
Yep.
Great team. I'm glad Kripke's back in the daily of things. I mean, I do miss Sarah Gamble in this episode. I miss her writing.
Right. Well, she was one of the producers still, so I'm sure she had
a hand in
things. Say. Okay, so we open this episode up with the Road So Far title. Nice song choice of this. It's not just that ambient, you know, kind of supernatural background music. It's Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells. AC/DC.
A pretty long little recap going on. Mostly not auditory, I guess you could say. Like there's you can't hear the actors' words until like just a couple of key moments that they want to highlight.
Right. It's mostly just action clips, basically.
Yeah, action clips of the various monsters that they've hunted down the past 2 seasons.
Also shows some of the romances. Shows a little bit of Salt and Burn. It shows some of the demons. It shows Sam. It shows Yellow
Dying.
Eyes. Yep.
Yeah,
it's
those
got
are one of
Yellow Eyes in there.
the actual vocal where they put in the vocals of like
The-
Sam's death, Dean making the deal, and then Yellow Eyes is
proclamation that Sam may not be
Yes.
Sam.
Mhm.
Yep. The Crossroad Demon specifying the rules of the deal
Yeah.
for Dean selling his soul.
And the
Yeah.
Devil's Gate being opened and the war just
Yes.
begun, and it
Just the-
ends with that nice little like blackout of the demon cloud just encapsulating the camera.
zooming at yeah very nice. So I wonder if this season's going to be about demons. I wonder if there's going one footnote about the Magnificent Seven. There's a remake in 2016 I think, but the original movie was in 1960, and it's about these 7 American cowboy gunslingers who are hired by this Mexican village to rout some bad guys, who'd come in. And so this Magnificent Seven band together, teach the locals how to fight for themselves, and end up rousting the the evil guys out of the town. That's the Magnificent Seven. It's another Steve McQueen movie. Shocker. But I just thought it was interesting that the Magnificent Seven are the good guys. They're the good guys in the movie, in both movies, the Magnificent Seven. In this episode, what we end up finding out about the Magnificent Seven, not the good guys in this episode. So a little flip on the title there.
So then we cut to the now. Quiet street in Oak Park, Illinois.
A real location.
We have a cute little house filled with fake flowers in the yard. And this, I kept calling him the average Joe.
I kept calling him the clean cut guy.
Okay.
Just because he's like got his, his shirt tucked into his pants. He's wearing a belt. He's got the clean haircut.
Yeah, he's in the white picket fence house, so to speak, taking out the trash, his nightly chores. Looks a little bored, just living life as you would in a suburb.
Yep. He looks over at his neighbor's car in the driveway, and what is it, a Porsche or something? It's some sort of sports car, and it's clean. He looks over at his car in the driveway, and it's like a dirty Camry or something.
Yeah.
It's not a bad car. It's just not, zippy, sporty, or clean. No. And he's like, all right, stay la vie.
That's life. So now he's spooked a little bit because he sees his trash can start doing a little shake, shake, shake.
Yep.
Then the signs appear.
Yes, the lightning. No, I was going to say at first, I was like, is it a raccoon? Because of the way the trash cans were shaking. At first, I was like, raccoons? Interesting way to start Supernatural.
Right.
But yes, the trash can starts shaking. The wind kicks up. The lampposts and the lights on the houses start doing the flickery. We all know that's not a good sign. That something supernatural is happening.
And that supernatural thing being a giant black demon cloud. Well, we know it's a demon cloud. Average Joe is like, what the fuck?
That just big storm coming.
Yeah.
He sees something in the sky. He sees black. It almost looks like comets with black smoke, like shooting
because
through
you
the sky.
see like all the individual demons kind of dispersing from the cloud, doing little
everywhere.
Pew, 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 pew. One of them landing into old Average Joe.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just jams itself right down his throat. There was no, excuse me, sir, can I?
No consent,
just straight down his throat. And then, boop, black eyes. Average Joe, average guy now has black eyes, and he's like, blink, blink, stands up, looks around. Smoke is still happening. Demon smoke is still happening, except now it's like headed towards the city that's a little bit off in the distance.
Yeah.
And it just blacks out the sky.
And you see Demon Joe looking very happy.
Very happy about this.
Satisfied about the turn of events
he's
that's happening
here. Yep. And then title splash. And it's our new title splash.
And it's another one. Yay!
It's a new one. So gone are the flames of hell and the demon mouth that comes out. And now it's like ghostly hands like shoot out at you. It's like they shoot out, and then you see, I'm assuming it's a devil's trap.
Yeah,
So
I
is it
think it was
something of
maybe the Sign of Solomon that
it
they
is.
mention in the first one, in the first season, I'm sorry.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. It's the Sign of Solomon. And then it just turns into like storm clouds, which I'm assuming are like demon, the demon smoke,
Yeah,
demon clouds. And then, supernatural, the word supernatural like zooms out at you, and glitchies is like glitchy, 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 glitchy,
Yeah.
zoom. And it looks a little metallic to me, but
Yeah, it's like an industrial, it's the same font, but it's now like masked with like an industrial type of metal sheets.
yeah,
Like
like
you can
had like
kind of see that.
bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I didn't see any animal teeth, and I didn't
I
see
didn't either. I kept like pausing it, like flip.
I was like, this time I'm really gonna look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
did too. I love the color scheme though, where it's like kind of this violet blue
Yes.
going on. It's a cool tone versus the very warm tone of
Warm
the
of
fire.
fires of
But
hell. Yeah.
yep,
So this
this
is
is our season 3 title splash.
yes,
Love it.
loved it. So 1 week later,
Yeah.
Dean Dean is having a threesome in a motel. Sam's in the car watching, but waiting, not watching, but waiting while
Yeah.
knowing that Dean is in there doing this thing.
Well, yeah,
And
how could you not when Dean is like gives him a literal thumbs up from the
Thumbs up.
motel window before he shuts the drapes?
What's playing in the background? Bachman Turner Overdrive? Was it BTO? I was like, you ain't seen nothing yet. And then Dean is just jamming with these girls. I mean, to the point where you hear him going, woohoo!
Oh my God.
He is having a great time.
Yes.
But in the car, Sam is flipping through. Sam's researching. He's, still trying to find a
Faustian type of story. But
yeah, he's reading about Faust. And for those of you who don't know about Faust, Faust makes a deal with there's a couple of versions of Faust. There's the Christopher Marlowe version, where Faust makes a deal with the devil right before the devil takes his soul. Like, ha ha ha, I win. God steps in and saves Faust.
Mm-hmm.
And says,
that
for your
was
troubles.
The one that was on Wishbone, by the way.
Okay. And then there's the Goethe version of Faust, where it's actually Mephistopheles makes a deal with God, not a deal, makes a bet with God that he can get Faust to stray, basically. And so in his devilish ways manages to make a deal with Faust that says, if you do what I tell you to do, you will get all the happiness in the world. But you have to, if I give you this deal, then when you die, you have to be my servant in hell, basically. And Faust is like, I'll take that deal because I will never find true happiness. I am a scholar. I am just here to study. So I will take that deal because I'm never going to die and go to hell, because now I will never find true happiness. Because the moment he finds true happiness is when he dies and goes to hell. And he loses.
Lo and behold.
Boom! He loses. So two very different stories. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm assuming it doesn't matter which one. I'm assuming it's the Marlowe
I don't know
version.
if he was reading a book. I don't know if he was reading the Faust novel.
He's reading about Faust.
Yeah, just like Faustian things, because the name in it wasn't Faust. It was like Faustus. And it wasn't reading, because I paused it and just tried to read some of the pages. It wasn't reading like a novel. It was more like a text.
Right, because he also sees something about like the devil at the crossroads,
right.
And so he's clearly trying to read up on. So
who knows what book it is?
Situation,
but,
right?
But Bobby, who calls, he says, "You still reading that book? Stop it! We got another mission to do. So pack it up. Let's go." Poor Sam, trying to retrieve Dean from his good time, walks in at the wrong moment.
Worst moment. I love that Bobby was like, where's Dean? What's he doing? And Sam says he's pulling the electric. And Bobby's like, what? I had to look that up. Do you know what that means?
No.
It means sex with a stripper.
Oh, pulling the
I was like, that's got to mean something, or else they wouldn't have said it. It's just Urban Dictionary.
Oh, I just thought he was just being like, what's the exact opposite that he could be doing right now?
Right. No, I mean, sex with a stripper.
Very funny. So here's a fun note that I saw. I forgot where I saw it. Maybe it was IMDb, but I went back and looked. The car that Bobby is driving,
Yes.
which is, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's the same car that the vampires from Dead Man's Blood in season 1 drive off in.
Oh my God.
And
Intentionally?
I don't know intentionally, but it's the same car.
After like we
we got
deserve
the
to
same
live just as
racing,
much as you do.
racing
Yep.
stripes, and everything. It's the same car.
Because I just made a note that I'm like, once again, a hunter with a, classic muscle car.
Yeah.
I was like, go Bobby.
It's a Chevelle? Is that what it is?
Yep, my Chevelle. That's very cool. Look at you with the research. I didn't even go that far.
That's the one thing I researched.
No, that's awesome though. Go Bobby. See now, I wonder what that means. I think it means they thought that we wouldn't look at the cars, because why would Bobby
maybe they
have...
were just or maybe they were like, we need a muscle car for Bobby. What do we have in the inventory? We have this.
Because in the barn outside of the barn where the vampire's lair was, there was like 3 or 4 muscle cars out front. So, why not? So, unfortunately for Sam, he walks in on Dean at the worst possible time, at least for Sam, not for Dean. He doesn't care.
No.
And it's like, hey, Bobby says we need to go check out this thing. So the next thing we see is like Dean and Sam in the Impala, and Dean is just like, woo, he's flooring it, he's going over bumps, and he's just the happiest Dean has been in a long time, considering that he only has a year to live. What I think is funny though is that if I drive my car the way Dean drives that car, my car gives me warnings. If I hit a bump too fast or too hard, something flashes up on the dash like drive better. I don't know. And I'm like, I don't think I like
that's the disadvantage of a new fancy, filled with technology cars.
And it's like, I will pull my car. Yes, it's like, I'm surprised it doesn't say, I will pull this car over if you don't start driving better. So yeah, Dean doesn't care. Dean's just living Dean's life. And so in the meantime, Sam is basically updating Dean on what's been happening with Bobby's research, and his research is that there's now signs of something demonic happening.
Yeah. Outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, which I thought was kind of funny considering I don't think that I left a lot of this in the previous episode in our wrap up, but just so listeners know, we had a lengthy discussion about Nebraska in season 2, because in the DVDs they had this map and Nebraska was not on it at all, but we're pretty sure that the roadhouse was located in Nebraska, but we must have talked about it for like 15 minutes amongst ourselves, which is why it did not end up in the edited episode. I did snicker a bit that the first location
because of this somewhere
is in Nebraska.
From Nebraska. It's like, But I do love the generality of somewhere outside of Nebraska, or somewhere outside
that
of like
cracked me up.
It's like somewhere near Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next morning they pull up to Sam and Dean pull up to a house. Dean gets out of the car with like a bacon cheeseburger, and he's just, again, happiest Dean we've ever seen. And Bobby's like, what's with the bacon cheeseburger? And Dean's like, dying in a year, don't care about my cholesterol. And a part of me is like, I really want a bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, I really want one right now, too. I'm like so hungry, and I'm like, oh, bacon cheese. I haven't had one in so long.
Right? Because we shouldn't have them.
Well, I mean, every now and then it's okay.
Every now and again, it's okay.
I could just pretend I'm dying in a year and be like,
cheers. But they also mention when they get out of the car, they're like, listen to that. Do you hear the cicadas? And I was like, I do hear the cicadas. But having just come out of the cicada season on the East Coast, audio department really let me down with cicadas, because, oh my God, cicadas will drown out a conversation. And if they were using cicadas as a sign and omen of demon activity, failed.
Yeah, I would also say that's a fail, but not for the same reason.
Okay.
I would up here the 17, is it 17 year, right? The
Every
brood.
17 years. Yep.
It did not come up this far north, so I didn't get to hear that. But having grown up in Nebraska, every summer, fall were cicadas, and it always
Yeah.
sounded like this. And when the writers are like, "Oh, that's not a good sign," I was like, "Okay, then every day of my life in the summer and fall, growing up in Nebraska, I must have been amidst a demonic apocalypse, because that's the sound that I heard. Like I heard that sound, and it
that
literally took
sounds of
me back to
summer.
my childhood." Yeah.
Yeah. I also love the fact that if you've ever been in a cicada season, that you don't just hear them. They are everywhere. You
right.
see them, they fly at you, they hit you in the face. They're like drunk bugs. I mean, there's like
They are, but it's I think the 17-year brood ones are different than the ones that
just
kind of show up
regulars.
every
Okay.
year. Because I never actually saw them until the next day when their skins were like
Their
still
shells.
clutching
Yeah.
onto the trees.
Yes. So
So anyway, I would just I chuckled at the cicadas are a demonic sign. I was like, So they approach this house, this very cute farmhouse that's there.
I love the house. There's
I do
sheets
have to
blowing
say,
on
another like side note about this, wherever they were, really did evoke Nebraska to me.
Yes,
I was
very
like,
much
oh my
so.
God, I grew up here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, sheets drying on the line, wind, gentle breeze, sunny day. It definitely
The
was like
farmhouse,
bright.
the flatland, the corn
Yep.
growing across
The
the
wheat.
street.
Yes, exactly. The whatever
It was
the
perfect.
crop
The
was.
location
Yes.
scouts, round of
Good job.
applause to you.
Yes, same thing. Unfortunately, when they aren't when they knock at the door and nobody answers,
Yes.
they break into the house, and the first thing they're met with is the stench of something not right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they make their way around the house, and they hear like screams. They're like, "You hear that? Screams!" And it turns out it's a television, and
Hold
so
their
they
guns
follow
up,
the
yeah.
screams
It's
to
like,
their
oh no.
television. And they make their way into this room where the screams are coming from, and there's like a family sitting on the couch, dead.
Yeah.
Dead,
Looks like
no
they literally just wasted away.
Yeah, it's not like signs of like throat slashed or anything like that. They sat down on the couch and decomposed.
Right.
And I love that they were watching Dallas. That was what was on TV when they walked in. And I was like, oh my God, Dallas. I loved that theme song to Dallas. Now, I was too young to watch. It was an evening soap, and I was too young to watch it. So that shows you that I was still too young at that time to appreciate Dallas. But that's
I saw a few episodes of Dallas
JR.
because it was on reruns of like TV Land or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of Dallas, and I've seen a few episodes, and I know like the JR.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
And the ending, and
it was the show of the time. That and Falcon
Right.
Crest, but if you like Dallas, you didn't like Falcon Crest. But I just remember the theme to Dallas. A girl in my gymnastics team did her floor routine to it, and we were all so jealous that she got to do her floor routine to dun 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 dun. Everyone else was like, I wanted to do my floor routine to that. So again, kind of cracked me up when I saw that they were watching Dallas. I was like, oh, little throwback to my childhood.
And it's funny. But on another pop culture note, Dean, as he's entering the house, he yells out Candygram, which was a call out to Blazing Saddles. I believe it was to Blazing Saddles, but
it absolutely was Blazing Saddles. Cleavon Little.
A movie I have seen.
Yes, definitely call it. But who wouldn't want a candygram? Who wouldn't want somebody to send you candy to your door? And that was before Uber.
Yeah.
That was before Insomnia cookies. Cookies.
I should eat before we do these episodes.
So,
but it also shows like how flippant Dean is still just.
I wrote flippant like 6 times. I went back and wrote and like counted how many times I wrote down flippant. I was like, son of a bitch. He's being really flippant about his potential demise.
Right. And everything else too.
Yeah. Back to the scene. They see the dead bodies on the couch. Bobby comes in and they're like, what the F? And then they hear something outside. So in their hunter ways, they, sneak around outside.
Mhm.
And where Dean gets, you know, basically knocked out. I mean, he gets,
Yeah.
beaten up by somebody, and it turns
Yeah.
out, oh, hey, Bobby knows these people.
Yeah, they're hunter friends. It's Tamara and Isaac.
Yes, exactly. And ... I do not like these characters. I do not like these actors.
I did not either.
Um,
They were very
weak.
one-dimensional. Yeah.
Yes, they were acting like stereotypes, and it made me not like the idea of knowing that there's other hunters out there. When we first met the Roadhouse and the world of hunters kind of opened up a little bit, that it's not
Mhm.
just the Winchesters and it's not just Bobby, that there's
Yeah.
other hunters out there. We met Gordon, who is a hunter
Yeah.
extraordinaire. We
Sure.
see glimpses of other. These two, I was like, no.
Yeah.
This makes me not like the idea of the world of other hunters because it diminished who Sam and Dean were as hunters.
Right, and they felt like an afterthought almost in the
Yeah.
episode, or at least just a vehicle to move the plot in a certain direction, but it wasn't a good vehicle.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh God.
Take off my hoodie and it hurts.
Oh God.
Did you see my face? At least I didn't make the noise.
I did.
It's the biggest freaking muscle in my body is my shoulder muscle from my gymnastics days. And I pulled it taking off my hoodie. And now it hurts.
Well. Oh, poor Valerie.
So yes, I mean, I didn't like them.
I didn't either. So we can talk more about that later. But if we speak of them with disdain, it's because you and I are on the same page of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yes. We've been introduced to so many stronger characters.
Yes. These were very, very weak.
Very weak.
And especially like this. Okay, so we go into the next scene, and I wasn't sure. I assume they're at the same house. Like
no,
maybe
I think they were at the hunter's house. I think they were at
Okay.
Isaac and Tamara's house because it
Okay.
was full of hunter. There was the stuff on the walls.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, did they
maps.
just take over this particular house because they were both there at the same time
No.
at the dead family's house as the boys were?
I think they were led there. They just got there late.
That's kind of what I assumed too, but it was
because
but
when they
then,
were in
like,
the house, they were asking each other, "Honey, where's my thing? Oh, it's in this drawer over here."
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. But also like when there was some outside shot, like a little bit later, there's some outside shots of the house, and it felt kind of like the same house. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't think it was because I had that same thought. I'm like, this is a hunter's house because it had
yes,
the string on the walls and the different news articles on the walls, and it had and these two people look like they were at home in this house. Honey, where'd you put the salt? Well, the salt's over here where we always tell you to put it. It's
right. It was actually Palo Santo, which
it was Palo Santo, holy wood. Yes, but again, this dynamic of this couple was just so.
Oh my God, the chemistry was terrible.
Honey, it was
where
just
is this?
stereotypical.
And it was like literally right in front of him.
You would lose your head if I wasn't here to show you.
He was using his man eyes to look for it because it was literally right in front of his face.
Literally right there. And then it was like, it was a giant steak. I mean, it was a giant wooden steak. It's like, how did you not know where this was? I also wanted to point out some of the decor in this house.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice the like weird baby doll hanging from the chandelier?
No.
Right. Anytime there was a shot to Sam, because Sam was more the dialoguer in this in this scene. Anytime the camera cut to him, at one point he had his hand on it and he looked at it and then he put his hand down and then it was just there. From one of those like a chandelier in the room, there was like a baby doll hanging from it, and he's kind of like, what's this? I'm not going to ask about the baby doll. But there was other just weird accoutrement in this house. But I was like, baby doll? What does this mean?
I was more focused on I don't know if you could hear Dean's little conversation.
His conversation
in the
on the phone. Oh my God, Jennifer, that's my sister's name.
Yeah, exactly. You find out later he's talking to like the coroner's assistant, but he's just
Doing
like
his
in the other
flirty
room, and you can
thing.
hear him like hitting on her, being like, "Oh, yeah, it's a nice name. My sister has that name.
Yes, it's a love, yeah. Doing his
Go
whole
out for
Dean
apple
thing.
teenies, you know?
Right. But he was doing it to get information. And if it got him
Yes.
into bed at the same time, he wasn't going to say no,
know.
you know? Funny.
But yes, as you said, Sam is like trying to make small talk with this couple. He asks the wrong question at some point about like how'd you get started,
get
and you
into
can kind of
hunting?
feel the tension in the room. And even Bobby's like, don't go there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sorry, never mind.
Sorry, but not a wrong question to ask, especially since they're
No.
like the couple that slays together stays together. Like, oh, well, how'd you
Yeah.
get into slaying then? Oh, it's a
Yeah.
terrible story about the death of
Yeah.
my, it's like, okay. Then why were you guys looking at each other with such love in your eyes over the couple that slays together? It's like, you're slaying together because of a horrible, tragic incident.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so Dean cuts in. He's done with the conversation. We learn that the family they found died of starvation. And that was
and
it. There was no
dehydration.
struggle. There was no violence. There was
No
no
sulfur.
Yeah. It was just they starved to death, which didn't make sense because their house was full of food. Like it was a normal house.
It was a house that had food. Yeah, he's like, they're like in the next room, there's a fully stocked kitchen. Why did these people just sit on the couch and die?
Yeah.
And they're like,
That is a good question. So what do we do next? Which then cuts off all the friendliness from Isaac and Tamara.
Yep, there's no we.
No,
We
will
aren't
do this.
doing anything.
Yeah, we aren't doing anything because you damn fools opened the Devil's Gate in the first place.
Which they didn't. P.S. That was Jake. Jake opened it. They were trying to stop him.
Yeah.
In fact, everything they did up to that moment was them trying to stop what was happening. They didn't do it. So go fuck yourself,
I know.
Isaac and Tamara. Sorry.
I know, but they also didn't. They don't know for sure, and they don't bother. The boys don't bother to correct them either. I think they just have so much guilt about it, especially Sam. And this, well, and I'm gonna get into that later in the season.
Okay. In this moment, my thought is go fuck yourself. But like you said, Sam and Dean don't take the time. They're like, it's not. We don't need to tell them it's different. We don't need to change their minds.
Yeah.
That's not what this moment is about. The moment is
right,
about
because I think Dean does try to. He tries to because he does step in and be like, "Excuse me," and then Sam's just like, "Pick your battles," type of situation. I think.
Right. And then Tamara even kind of does the same thing. She's like, too much testosterone. Let's end this conversation. You know, and she drags Isaac out of the room. Which I was like,
yeah. So
thank you.
It's weird because they're fine with them staying in their house and inviting him into their house and kind of showing them, their stash of stuff, but not fine enough with them to like go fight bad guys together.
Yeah, as a group, stronger numbers, right? Strength in numbers, and they even do the whole like, this isn't Scooby-Doo, and I was like, oh, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, just file that away for later. So while this is happening outside the home, this hot blonde chick walks out of the woods.
Literally from the shadows.
From the shadows.
Mysterious and blonde.
And is just kind of looking at the house. Okay.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. Commercial. Yep. So next morning, clean cut demon guy goes shopping as one does as a demon. And he walks into this, department store and he sees two women, one of whom he walks up to and touches on the shoulder and says, "Hey, but those are nice shoes." Yes. And he points to the shoes that the other woman is looking at.
Yes. And you hear a sound music cue indicating something is up with this little shoulder touch that he just did. Yep.
And so the girl is like, "Why, yes, those are nice shoes."
Yes.
The girl who got touched goes up to the girl who's looking at shoes and is like, "Hey, I like those shoes." And the girl who's looking at the shoes is like, "Yeah, I'm going to buy these shoes." Yep. So she buys the shoes and walks out of the store. Whereas the girl who was touched is like, "I really want those shoes.
I'm not finished here. I want them." Proceeds to beat the living shit out of or like smashes her head.
Smashes her head on the windshield of the car. Takes the shoes and walks away like, "I got my shoes," and leaves the poor girl bloody on the hood of a car outside of the store. I was like, dang. and that brings me back to when I first moved to LA. I did get in a fight at a Kmart over the last toilet paper. And this was before the pandemic. This is like 25 years ago. I literally got in a fight with a woman over toilet paper in Kmart. I did not smash her head on the windshield of her car, nor did she mine, but it was darn close.
Who got the
It was
toilet
darn
paper?
close. I did. I kind of felt like I was younger and stronger, and I was a little bit more hungry at that time, you know.
Okay, so a little bit later, it's turned into a crime scene. The cops and whatnot are collecting all the evidence, and Sam is looking at it.
Dean's talking to, another person in the store, another female in the store.
Yeah, he's hitting on his like third or fourth chick of the episode.
Yeah. And Sam's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm consoling the bereaved, but he's still trying to get information at the same time. In walks Bobby in a suit and tie.
Oh, I know.
And
Sam's hat?
Yes, no hat, but his hair is like combed way back, as if he had been wearing a hat. So that's Bobby's first disguise that we've seen.
Yes.
And I forget who he said he was.
He's the attorney for the DA's office.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
his alias. Yes. Yeah. So
okay.
Big shot.
So they're able to get with that disguise, they're able to get the access to the surveillance cameras of the store. I
guess so. I mean, I don't know. He comes out of it because he had just been interviewing the woman, the perpetrator, who was completely lucid. Right. She just really wanted the shoes. He did not see any signs of possession. The holy water didn't work. It didn't produce any kind of
spilled
smoking.
Holy water on her. Yeah. And she wasn't possessed. She just really wanted the shoes.
Right. But there's too much going on here for it to be just a coincidence. They still know that something is going on, but it's
the dead family, now this.
Of what it is, because possession is not the answer.
Right. And Bobby doesn't believe in coincidences.
Right.
So, but somehow I just assumed that it was because of Bobby and his position that they were able to get the surveillance.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. Other... But Dean also just was like, or we could do this. And because I wrote down, what did I say? Perusing through security footage. See, I'm working. The Dean says that at some point. See,
I'm not just out for the girls. Yeah. And we see the reverse shot of what we saw as audience members of a clean-cut demon guy touching this unsuspecting shopper, and then the events unfold. They're like, aha. Right.
Yeah.
This is probably our guy.
A clue. Yeah.
Yes. It's like either he's our guy or he's our guy.
Yeah.
And they're able to track him down, right? They follow him.
Yes, they find out the bar that he frequents, and they camp out there to wait for him. But in between that, there's this weird blip of a scene where Sam is just walking down the street of the town, right. And the mysterious blonde is watching him.
Behind him, he's walking behind
him. Ends up following him, and then right as his spidey senses start to tingle, she literally disappears.
Yeah.
There's a group of people that walk in front of her, and then she's gone, right as he turns around.
Just as he turns. Yep, of course. But he does take note of the fact that he had his spidey sense. Mm-hmm. And he knows that something must have been behind him. So he's not just what was that? He's like, there was something there.
There was something here. And the audience now knows this girl is not human. Whatever she is, she's not human, because a human cannot disappear that fast.
Yeah.
Back to the plot at hand. They follow Average Joe guy to the bar that he frequents. And here's a little expo moment that I called. There's a couple of them throughout this episode.
Okay.
Where Bobby or somebody found out, he went missing about a week ago, the same time the Devil's Gate was opened. He's probably possessed, but they do note that these demons are most likely supercharged, way different than what they've encountered before in the few times that they've encountered demons.
Right. And so while they're discussing this in the car, they look up and see Isaac and Tamara heading into the bar.
Yes, because the boys are all in agreement in how to handle it. Dean just wants to go in blazing. Bobby's nope.
Not doing that.
But they don't really have a choice. Yeah.
Because now Isaac and Tamara have taken that decision out of their hands, because they went in like idiots, into this bar, and of course they walk into this bar and it is like soaked with demons.
Yeah.
And they get captured basically because the clean cut guy is in there, and there's the bartender is like, I hate it when you people come into my bar, and grabs them.
Yeah, because they have this plant, like you see a shot of like Isaac pulling out a flask of what you presume is holy water.
Is holy water. Yeah.
And like I guess their plan was just like splash him with holy water and kidnap him.
They didn't have a plan. That's the
No.
I mean, we don't know what their plan was. Whatever it was,
it was
didn't
not
work.
good, and it was very easy to spot considering bartender demon guy was like, hey, I know exactly what you're kind of trying to do here.
Right.
And then they become surrounded by the patrons of the bar who, as you said, are all demons.
Yeah. And one of them touches Isaac, and you hear that like that tingly music again, like something's happening. So something has happened to Isaac, and they're like, we want you to drink this drain cleaner. And they pull out an industrial sized bottle of drain cleaner, and Isaac takes it and chugs it.
I know.
That was pretty gruesome. I will admit, this was a gruesome
very gruesome, and I was like, like I had a couple gag reflex moments happening. Tamara's just sitting there screaming at him, like to stop. That was pretty torturous, like watching her husband kill himself.
Knowing, and in such a painful, disgusting way to go.
I know, and you hear the boys like trying to break down the door, right? But it's super enforced apparently, so they can't. Yeah, that was a gruesome scene, and this is where I think Sarah Gamble and Eric got their wish of just like really being as
horrific as they can.
Gory, bloody.
Yes, because he's choking, he's gagging, he's gargling. This, and you can see him. He's foaming, he's burning. Chemical burn. He falls on the ground, and just like green ooze is coming out of him. I mean, he is dying and choking and burning a chemical death. Now the demons are like, okay, your turn. And they all turn to Tamara.
Yes. And I will say, like, while this is happening, the demons are just having a ball.
Joyous. They are laughing and taunting them both.
Yeah.
It's having a grand old time. So when they're like, okay, your turn, sweetheart, and they grab her, and just as they do that,
cue boys.
Yes. Cue the saviors. Enter Bobby, Dean, and Sam, but driving Bobby's car smashes through the front door of this bar. And they grab Tamara, who's like, no, I need to get Isaac, they're like, leave him. We have got to go.
Yeah, he's dead.
He is. There's no saving him. So they manhandle her into the car. In the meantime, they're fighting off the demons with holy water.
Yeah, buckets of like literal buckets of holy water.
And I forget which one. I think it's Dean or Sam grabs clean cut demon guy.
Yeah, Sam grabs Tamara and Dean grabs clean cut guy and kind of like lures him towards the car, runs out of holy water, and he's like, haha, I gotcha.
Aha.
But then Dean throws him into the trunk, which is armed with a devil's trap.
Dun dun. Every trunk has a demon trap. And you see the demon be like, no!
Yeah, oh shit.
No shit. Yeah, basically. Off they go.
Yep.
So now they've rescued Tamara. They left Isaac behind, and they left all the other demon things behind, but they have clean cut demon guy with them.
To interrogate for info. So he's now back at the house. He's in, we'll call it prime position, meaning he's like strapped to a chair underneath a devil's trap in the house, just kind of waiting. And Tamara, who is, fair enough, she's like torn up, but also not fair enough. She wants to go back, like literally guns a-blazing, and just like, I just want to kill them all. And
it's like, really, your stupid
these
plan
guys are
is what got you
hunters.
in this, right? Right, because not only did they walk into a trap, I mean, it was the demons didn't even have to trap them; they walked in on their own.
Yeah,
and now she wants to go back
by herself.
And it's like you think that you can kill them all because you couldn't do it this time when you were like, well, whatever.
Yes. And I will say, Bobby turned into like super boss mode, and I was like, yes, daddy.
Yes. Yes. Plus, just the look on his face, the words he said, yes, but just the look on his face, like, you will listen to what I have to say. And I was like, yes, Bobby. He's like, you fucked us
Yes.
all up, is basically what he said. He's like, every decision you've made so far has brought us to this position.
Yeah.
You screwed this up. You will listen to us now.
Yeah.
And she finally kind of acquiesces, like, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
And so do the boys. Like the Dean and Sam kind of look at each other like, well, okay, we do what the boss says.
Bobby says we do.
Yep.
But so while Dean is now questioning the demon and splashing holy water on him and torturing him a little bit.
I'm sorry, we have to go back just a touch,
Okay.
because there's another expo moment. Because when they're talking about, like when Tamara is like, we got to go back, and Dean's like, okay, and then Bobby interrupts before he goes into boss mode, and it's like, excuse me, do you have any idea what we're up against? Which we'll hear that phrase like several times this season, I think, and beyond.
Yeah.
So this is where we find out what it is we're fighting.
That was going to be my next note, is Bobby's figured it out.
Yes. So we don't know how many of them are. Yes, we do. There are 7, because what we are fighting are these 7 deadly sins.
Yep. Which, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the 7 deadly sins, they are lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. 7 deadly sins.
I did have to look it up because I couldn't remember like a couple of them. Like there's a few that you remember.
One.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's always the one where you're like, what's the other one?
What's in the box? You cannot mention the 7 deadly sins without throwing
7.
in a reference to that movie that Brad Pitt was in, 7. And Dean also could not
he couldn't resist either. And he full on Brad Pitt. He's like, what's in the box?
Yes.
And nobody responded. He's like, come on.
No, because they're just like, dude, read the
Not
room.
The time. And we have come full circle to read the room.
Yes.
I want to say the other day in rehearsal, we, you don't always have all the show props, the show ready props in rehearsal. You usually have what we call doofers or stand-ins. And we had a doofer for this shrine, which was basically a cardboard box that I found on the floor. I was like, here, use this as the shrine. And they're supposed to like lift it up. And it was a cardboard box. And someone said, what's in the box? And I went, what's in the box?
Yes. I was going to say, please tell me that someone said something about what's in the box.
Yes, they absolutely said what's in the box. And I went, what's in the box? Because they were actually asking, what is this thing that you just brought in as a
what's
doofer?
In the box?
And I broke down into full Brad Pitt. I totally deaned it. I was awesome.
Good for you.
But
round of applause for you.
Oh, thank you.
But you can only do it once is the thing. Like you can't do it every single time you have the box. It only works. Right. It's only funny
that first time for everyone to be like, oh, she did that thing. But yes, the 7 deadly sins are now embodied as these demons. They're not just myth. They're not just rules.
Yeah, they're not just thoughts or something not corporeal. Right. They are demons. And Bobby says something. I did not look this up. I don't know if you did. But he mentions an author named Binsfield, who in 1589 ended up classifying the 7 deadly sins as demons and not as people. Oh, you did look it up. Okay, great. Go for it, because I didn't look it up.
Yeah, so Binsfield classified demons. He basically personified them as the 7 deadly sins. And what he broke it down was lust is a demon named Asmodeus. Gluttony is Beelzebub. Greed is Mammon. Sloth is Belphegor. Wrath is Satan. Envy is Leviathan. Store that away. And pride is Lucifer.
Wow.
So the embodiments of the 7 deadly sins, he put them into these demonic forms.
Oh.
Now, I don't buy into anything Binsfield says, because he was also like a proponent of burning witches at the stake.
Oh,
so, but he was the one who first made the 7 deadly sins corporeal and assigned them
Like
demonic
personalities
form.
and
Yep.
things instead of
Yep.
just like, oh, this is a
Just this pride.
trait
This
that
is
you can have. Yeah.
exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So like
So you were
Supernatural took that, didn't give them names per se, but just said, okay,
right.
we'll just use them as demons.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, because in so doing, you're influenced by this demon. You don't naturally have sloth. You are influenced by sloth, the
Yeah.
demon. So, and they embodied that. They did that on the show. Anytime somebody was touched by these demons, they were influenced by, they were touched by. So it wasn't your natural habit to have that sin. You were influenced by it. So I thought
Very
that was
nice.
really strategic.
Well done. I really enjoyed it. So they figure that they have with them Envy, since he influenced that shopper to like kill for a pair of shoes. They
Yep.
figured Sloth was what influenced that family that
The
died,
family.
just wasting away in front of the TV.
Yep. Isaac.
Yeah,
Isaac was gluttony.
Yes, and that was the clue. That's what drove Bobby to say, wait a minute. There's
What would
something
make
going
him
on here. Yeah.
What would make him drink all of that? And it was gluttony.
Yes.
Yep. And Tammy, of course, Tamra, wrath.
Yes.
And in fact, it's one of the demons who points that out. He's like, you are full blown wrath, just so you know.
Yeah. But she wasn't even influenced by anybody. She was, well, maybe.
She could have been, but we didn't
was
see
held
it
back,
happen.
but right. There was no sound cue to.
She was just angry, and some people have that anger.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so that she's angry that she watched her husband get basically forced to suicide in front of her very eyes.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for that. I really don't.
That I do not.
On to the interrogation of Envy. They're trying, as you said before, they're trying to figure out, what are they there for? What's your plan? What's going on? And he's just like, dude, we already have what we want. We're free. We're out. We get to cause chaos. This is like the happiest we've ever been.
This is what demons want. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, who are you? And he says, I am Legion,
we are many.
For we are many, which is a direct Bible quote. It's a direct quote from the Bible, from Mark 5:9. I mean,
I love that line. It's used many times throughout many TV shows and movies, et cetera, et cetera. It's used a couple times throughout Supernatural. But I love the power of that line. And it doesn't really evoke a lot of power right here in this moment, but I love it.
But
it's poetic,
it's coming.
It's
it's the strength of the individual standing up as one, knowing that standing behind him is the entire legion, that you are not alone. That's what this
we are many.
For we are many.
Love it. It gives me chills every single time. But I did love this guy. This character was given a lot of good lines in this episode, and I think it's because he's supposed to portray something kind of ancient. Because even Bobby says, like, this is medieval. These guys haven't been out for like half a millennium, So he's given a lot of like kind of old language, I guess.
Sure.
I am Legion, for we are many, for one. Which one of you can cast the first stone? When he's talking about, the sins. He's like, you call us sin, but you guys are sin. You're animals. You're horny, hungry animals.
You're doing it without us.
Yeah.
You've been doing it without us, but now that we're out, we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah. Because look at Tamara, like you said, Tamara is wrath, is rage. Dean is gluttony and lust.
And not only that, but this demon, even though he's pointing out the duality of the 7 deadly sins, he's also saying that he knows Dean's story, he knows Sam's story. He calls Sam like the prince,
that's later, Prince in Waiting. That's one of them does, but
okay. Oh no, that's Pride. You're right. I'm sorry.
But it's the essence is the same. Is they know who
the demons know, the Winchesters.
Exactly.
Yep. And he's like, you know what? Done with you, because even Envy says, I'm getting out of here. Or, my buddies are coming, basically. And Dean says, they may come, but you won't be here. They're not going to find you. And you see that look on Envy's face where he's like, uh-oh.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, shit. and they hand the exorcism over to Tamara. They're like, take it away,
Yep.
Tamara.
Yeah.
And she just starts in on the exorcism, exercises envy. And they're like, okay, so demon's gone. What happened to the host? And she's like, didn't make it. So she has crossed over to that realm of, you know, even the humans die at this point. She's got that level of callousness
Right.
that Sam
coldness.
has accused Dean of having, and that we just saw Sam have when he killed Jake. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. And I mean, we don't see what happens in the exorcism. Like it all happens off camera, like off screen. But the coldness of which she says he didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
You can guess that she killed him out of spite.
Yeah.
Somehow.
We hear a scream and we feel a whoosh of air.
Yeah.
You know, all the candles get blown out. They're like, so how'd the exorcism go? They're like, demon's gone. You know, guy didn't make it. And she just walks away. Like literally like dusting off her hands. And they're like, okay. So they decide to, as a group, to stay put and to not go rushing off half-cocked. They decide to let the demons come to them.
Right. Dean is the one who wants to go by himself, right? Because he says, you three go and I'll stay behind. And they shut that down real quick. They're like, don't be stupid.
Stop trying to beat the clock, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You
Also,
have the clock.
There's 7 of them, and they're going to find us no matter where we go. Like,
right. We're outgunned.
We can't
we're
hide.
outmanned.
That's not an option.
Let's just let them come to us.
Yeah.
Later that night, an ancient radio turns on playing I Shall Not Be Moved. I shall not be moved, which turned into a civil rights movement song, which was we shall not be moved, which I thought was interesting. So that comes on the radio, the lights do the flicker, and so they're like, game on, you know, demons are coming. And lo and behold, Isaac is back. Isaac is outside of the house and he's like screaming and taunting Tamara, like, you know, why'd you leave me behind? I'm here, let me in. You know, which of course we're like, no, don't do that. This is not Isaac. He died. And
even Bobby is just like, you know as well as I do, this is not Isaac.
It's his corpse. Yeah. And all the things he says is like, again, it's like you're a demon trying to get your wife to come out to, you know, be killed. He's saying all the wrong things. You know, it's like he's not even human. He's not saying human things. He's like,
no, he's just like, you did this. You left me behind. How could you? We promised that we would never do it. And saying, like, you know, and then he's like spouting all these secrets, of course, that only they would know. And
right, how does he know that?
Tamara,
he's a demon.
He's a demon.
Yeah, you're a terrible hunter. You know, and as a terrible hunter, she breaks the salt line and goes running out
to him. Yeah, he says something about their child. I don't know. I guess, you know, a monster got their child at some point, and then that's what makes her lose it. She runs out, breaks the salt line. I mean, I guess sort of to her credit, she isn't like, oh, Isaac, I'm so happy that you came back. You know, she does say, you're not Isaac, and then stabs him with the wood, the
Hollywood, the holy wood, on Hollywood, with the holy wood. Yeah. So she kills him again. And so good for her. Good for her for putting an end to the demon. And that's what she needed to do. But I have to admit, that's got to be pretty hard to kill something that is your husband.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. To have to like stand there and look at the person that you love and know that it's not the person you love. But
and in the meantime, because she rushed out and broke the salt line, now all the other demons are like, foop, into the house.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Is it the first demon that Bobby comes across? The first one's kind of I'm gonna call it the fat guy because demon.
Yeah, he's a fluffy guy.
Yeah.
Who like kind of looks at Bobby gleefully, but then as he approaches Bobby, gets caught by a devil's trap.
Yeah.
Bobby's like,
and Bobby and Bobby quotes Animal House, which is perfect. Fat, dumb, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. Which is what the dean of the school said to John Belushi. Oh my God, that's like one of the quintessential Animal House lines. Fat, dumb, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I thought that was just Bobby being Bobby.
Animal House, 100%. I was like, thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, if I should have known.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one, and I assume that one would be sloth.
Yes. No, gluttony. I would say gluttony because he was fat.
No, I was going to say sloth because the guy who convinces Isaac to drink the Drano. Like they said that was gluttony, and that was not that guy. That was
Oh,
a different guy.
oh, I just assume fat, dumb, and
Yeah,
stupid. Okay.
yeah, but
Well,
I don't
maybe
know
there's
if
more
they
than
were.
one. So
But
that's the
maybe they
reason
weren't
why.
trying to like embody things. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
they kind of did with the girl, because the next demon that we see is who traps
In-
Dean, and it's a beautiful blonde woman
blonde,
who's saying very
lust.
seductive things, and he
Yeah.
recognized, oh, you must be
He's
lust.
like, you must be
Yup.
lust. And she gets him. She touches him,
Yeah.
and he like full on goes for her.
Yeah, just
You
starts
know,
making
does
out with her.
making out with Lusty.
So that's lust.
Yep.
And then there are a group of 3 demons who approach Sam. The
Right.
first one, the only speaking one, reveals himself to be Pride.
I hated his entrance though. You can't do here's Johnny. You can't do here's Johnny and not be, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
It was just it was poorly
cheap shot.
done. Yes. Yes, exactly. And he has to go on and on about, how great he is, and that's why Sam's like, "All right, you must be Pride." I know.
That
It's
is
just like
something Pride would do.
they didn't have to go that far. It's like, we get it, he's Pride, is I guess my point.
But anyway, he comes in, he notices the devil's trap, and then he, like, with his demon power, cracks it. Like, he
Breaks
makes a
it,
crack
yeah.
through the ceiling, breaks the seal, so he can now approach Sam safely. So that's Pride, and behind him is the guy who had touched Isaac, who was
who
they
was
said
gluttony.
Was
So not fat, dumb, and stupid then.
No.
Oh, then I don't know. You never see all of the
No.
demons.
You know who Lust is, you know who Pride is,
You know who
and
envy
you know who
is.
Envy is. Envy's
Right.
gone.
And gluttony is now, well, somebody is, the fat guy is now gone because he was trapped and exercised by Bobby.
Right, or is in the process of being exercised.
Right. Lust
and somebody is inside of Isaac, who I assume would be Wrath, just because that's who they kept calling Tamara. They're like, oh, you're full of rage, see? And then there's definitely a demon inside of Isaac, right?
Well, because he was
there's only
dead.
7
Yeah,
people.
of course.
There's only 7 of them, so I would assume he would be Wrath. Yeah. And then Greed is the other one, who was the other female, the brunette female, who was part of the Pride group.
Right, which we don't see them.
We don't know for sure. That's just kind of like, as I was like trying to label them. So it's like, well, there's only one left, so I guess it's probably.
I know. I kind of did the same thing. And so Lust, who's sucking on Dean's face, Dean manages to kind of overcome the Lust grip on him and slams her face into an awaiting bathtub of holy water.
Yes.
And he's able to exercise her through like drowning her in
well,
holy
he's
water.
Not really exercising her. He's just torturing her, because you can't exorcise the demon just by throwing holy water on them, but he is incapacitating her.
Okay.
Which I thought, okay, so here starts like a pretty cool camera sequence, or at least a effect sequence. They do this little now slow-mo versus fast mo of camera work, but I thought that it was pretty cool, and I was like, ooh, this is a nice little touch that they've added in season 3, I think, because Dean is doing that. Which, side note question, how did he break the spell of Lust enough to put her in the holy water?
Because they gave us the whole sound effect of her touching him. So maybe because he's only got a year to live and he's already
maybe he's touched by a demon. I don't know, but
maybe
that
his own
question
lust
is not
stronger.
Answered. Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's already just so full of lust he didn't need to be influenced anymore.
Right.
That question was not answered. It's just all of a sudden he's strong enough to break the spell and then dunks her head first into the holy water bath. Meanwhile, Sam below is overpowered by the 3 demons. Fair enough, considering that the seal was broken. And he's in a chokehold of Pride. And then in walks mysterious blonde lady.
Blonde chica. Yep.
And then starts like this most amazing fight sequence.
Right? She not only kicks ass, but she like slashes throats. She's got this knife that just like opens up the throats of Envy and some of the other demons. And then she's able to take this knife and like jam it up
Yeah,
I don't know how
through
to
the
describe
chin,
it, like
through the bottom
through the
of the chin.
Yeah, like up into the skull of Envy, and he does this like electrical, and dies.
Yeah. So
And it's
that's
like,
okay. Like, who the fuck is this blonde chick?
who's
How could she
kicking
fight
ass?
so well? She's totally kicking ass. She's got this crazy knife that can kill.
Kill
Assume you can kill the
demons.
demon inside of the body, because once the blade touches the person, there's like an electrical fire, like
there's no smoking out of the demon.
No.
The demon doesn't leave the body. That's it. It's just electric, boom, dead.
Yeah, it's similar to what the Colt can do. Like, it's a similar kind of effect, like when the Colt shoots a bullet into a monster.
That whole like electrified body. We didn't see like the skeleton of the body when that happened.
No, it's not as full-fledged of an effect as the Colt is, but it's very similar, and you can draw a conclusion that, oh, this knife is special.
yeah, because it's not sending the demon back to hell. The demon didn't get to escape. The demon was killed in the body, and that's the end of the demon.
Yeah. All of this like slow-mo versus fast-mo effect is going on, and I was just like,
ooh. But then the coolest thing is that when she's done, Sam's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I know who you are, Sam.
Yeah.
I saved your life. Well, I saved your life. Well, blah blah blah, Sam Winchester." And then turns and walks out.
And then Sam chases after her. Boom, she's gone.
She's gone. And now I have to admit, in this episode, I don't know who she is. I know who she is down the line, because I was like, who is it? Who is it? Oh, but while I was watching this, I was like, who is this chick? Who is this chick that just walked in, kicked demon ass, killed demons, knows who Sam is, and then walks out?
And can disappear into thin air. Right.
Yeah.
So that is.
And I kept looking. I kept watching. That's the thing. It's like I kept looking at her eyes. I was like, is she a demon? Because I looked in. I'm like, nope, didn't change. Nope, didn't change. All right, who's this chick?
And another note, though, one of the sin demons recognized her. They turn around and they say, "You," and then she stabs them.
Oh,
yes.
I missed that.
Yes, it was the lady one who I.
Who was standing
to
behind?
Greed. It was maybe Greed. I don't know, but
okay. Wow, I missed that. Okay, so 2 questions then. Who is she, and why do demons know her?
Right. Well, there's 3 questions, which 2 of them they ask as they are burying the ones who didn't make it. Who were those 3 that she stabbed with the crazy knife? Right, and then Tamara is like off by herself, having an alone moment with Isaac. Okay. 2 of them did survive, that Bobby had like exercised all night, but they are purifying these other 3 with a salt and burn funeral. But they ask, okay, what kind of knife can kill a demon?
Right. And Bobby doesn't know, which is shocking.
Who was this masked chick that could kick so much ass better than Sam?
Who was that masked chick?
Yes. And if we let out the 7 deadly sins, what else did we let out? Yeah,
exactly. Now, given that in the very first scene, the very first, now scene, we see that the skies are blackened over a city. That's not just like a couple hundred demons. That is like a lot.
Right.
There's
and
a
they
lot
mention,
that's out
there. They mention early, like in the car after Dean got done with this threesome, that those black clouds had been spotted over 17 cities.
17 cities. Yep. So that's, name your place, name your city.
Right. Setting up for the entire season of stuff to do.
The entire season. This is going to be a demonic season. Yeah. Basically, at the end of this episode, the exorcisms have happened, the bodies have been killed, the 7 deadly sins have died, basically, or been exorcised. Tamara goes her own way. Shocking, right? Peace out, bitches. I'm going my own way. Bobby goes his way. Sam and Dean go their way. But Bobby leaves them with watch your back, I'll keep you posted, but keep your eyes open for stuff like that. Sam says, but we can win this, right? We can, we know there's a lot out there, but we can do this, right? And Bobby does not reassure them.
No. No,
He does
I
not be
wrote,
like, yeah, we can do
they
this.
sent Tamara off with well wishes and Bobby off with words unspoken. Yeah, there's no reassurance. It's just see you around.
See you around. Well, I'm sure there's stuff coming, so we'll be in touch. Which I thought was going to be the walk away, but now Sam and Dean have their own scene.
Yeah.
After Bobby leaves in his muscle car that he stole from the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Sam is like, okay, I think for now we should go to Louisiana. I heard about this hoodoo priestess who can, probably break your deal with the demon. And I just want to point out that he mentioned they should go to Shreveport, Louisiana. I was born in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh.
That's my little connection there. I was like, yay! Oh wait, yeah. But sadly, they don't go to Shreveport because Dean puts the kibosh on that. I was like, they could have gone to Shreveport. I could have had a Shreveport episode. But Dean says, no, I'm not going. I'm not having any part of that. We're not doing that. And Sam's like, what? Why? Why have you been basically cock-blocking me on every time I mention fixing this and trying to find a solution to your 1-year deal? And Dean finally relents and says, you can't. If I do anything to break the deal or trick the demon into breaking my deal, you die. And I will not have you die. I can't live knowing that you're dead. And Sam points out his hypocrisy.
Yeah.
He's like, how do you think that's supposed to make me feel? How did you feel when Dad did the exact same thing?
Yeah.
And Dean is basically like, all right, I acknowledge it, but I'm not going to change it. He's like, I've worked too hard. I've sacrificed too much. He's like, with this 1-year deal, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, Sam is like, that's hellfire, dumbass.
Whatever.
Your soul is going to hell. That's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam calls, he's like, Dean, that's really selfish. And Dean is like, I'm entitled to it.
Yeah. So the flippancy he had at the beginning of the episode has not waned. He is still flippant. Yeah. But now you see the decision behind his flippancy. I mean, we knew it, but now he's like, take it or leave it. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is my last year. I'm going to make the most of it, live with it, essentially, which...
Yeah, there's a glimmer in Sam that I will admit. I was like, ooh, you just kind of poked at the dark side of Sam there.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, Sam said it over and over again. I've been trying to save you and you just keep kind of brushing it off and living this life of ridiculousness and potential death because you don't care. But I've been working so hard to keep you alive. And Dean's like, deal with it. And you just see this flicker on Sam's face like, okay. That's how you want to play this? It's not like there's no reconciliation here. There's no brothers coming to an understanding about their circumstances.
No, because
each brother is taking their own stand.
Exactly.
And it's kind of against each other, but for each other. Interesting.
Yeah, and you're kind of left, even though the music at the end, the drive off at the end of, again, a very Nebraska-y shot, which, wow, amazing.
It. Yeah.
And even though, Sam says something, I guess, equally flippant of, you're impossible, Dean, door slam, drive off, to me, Sam still felt very, I'm very upset.
I'm still mad at you. I'm very mad at you right now.
Mad.
Yeah. It wasn't like, you're you're impossible. I'm
bitch
adorable.
Jerk. It was not a bitch jerk moment at all.
No. Yeah, there wasn't a resolution. That was, you're going to play it that way? All right, wait till next episode.
Yeah.
Wait till the next episode when I punch you in the face type of thing.
Right.
I love the fact that in this rewatch, I am learning so much. And it's like, now that I'm watching it for sure, I'm like, this is explaining what happens further down the line, or this is, and so it's making more sense to me and I'm enjoying it. Having said that, I didn't fully enjoy this episode. And I think I mostly didn't enjoy it because of the two guest characters. Because end of season 1 was so shocking, with the car crash. So shocking. And then episode 1 of season 2 was so emotional with everything that happened in it, that this episode, I was like, what's it going to be? And it was like, it fizzled a little bit for me.
Oh, yeah. I have to 100% agree with you in that I was let down by this one. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. It doesn't make
Yes,
me
it
want to
was
tune in to the next episode.
not really, especially since, we, as in you and I, have been kind of having some, I don't want to call them philosophical discussions, but um, discussions of emotional depth about the bros,
Yes.
that this felt so empty.
Yeah.
The bad guys were really cool. I really loved that they took the seven deadly sins, they made them into demons, and
That was very cool. Yep.
yes, and there's that introduction of the mysterious blonde where you're like, who is this girl?
Right. And I also like the fact that the hot chick was connected to Sam and not to
Yeah.
Dean. Dean had his own
Yes.
lustful things, but she was a demon. He had the Doublemint twins in the beginning. So his interests right now are very feathery
Vagina based.
and not yes, they're not important, which is fine because I hate, in the beginning when I was first intermittently watching Supernatural, that's one of the things I didn't like about Dean. And I still don't like about Dean. I
Yeah.
don't like that he is literally just following his dick everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's more to Dean than that.
Right. But
You
this
know?
episode there's not. It's all gluttony and lust. That's what
Right.
he was in this. And there wasn't a lot about him that I felt drawn to in this.
Yeah, no, there's nothing redeemable about him. The only thing is that Sam pulled him out of his how do I say it, his fuck fest to go do this hunt, and Dean's along for the ride because, he's got the car keys.
Right.
I mean, that's basically it. He doesn't care. He's only thinking about himself and all of that. I mean, and in the end, you see a glimmer of Dean, which is how much have we sacrificed? It's
How
time
much
for
have
me
we
to finally have
sacrificed it?
some
And
fun.
also, I don't want to fuck this up because if we do, then you're going to die, and I don't want you
Right.
to die.
And the easiest thing for me to do is to not be involved in anything. If I just waste my last year eating cheeseburgers and screwing faceless women, then I'm not going to get you killed.
He's still just like, I don't care if I'm being selfish.
Right. Right.
I don't care if you have to live with the fact that I'm going to be gone.
I'm dying in a year.
And there's a year of build up until that,
Right. It was a letdown character wise. I mean, Bobby is Bobby, which is great. Bobby did great Bobby things, and Sam did great Sam things. He was standing up to Dean and like, what are you doing? I'm working to save you. And, you don't care. And Dean didn't care that he was hurting Sam, which goes against what we've seen about Dean.
That's the thing that I think that left kind of like with a bad taste in my mouth is Dean didn't come back from the end of that being like, hey, I'm sorry.
Right. Maybe I should zip it up and let's focus on doing good. I mean, I granted, their motivation for, the yellow-eyed demon is gone, but they have all of these, hundreds and hundreds of demons that have been released that they need to be looking for. I mean, Dean even says, it's been weeks and weeks since the Hellgate opened.
Well, 1 week.
Where's all the demons? Oh, it's been a week. Okay. He's like, where's all the demon action? You know? So, I mean, I get that, but I just feel like it was a little too callous given how invested we all became in these characters in this last season.
It was an odd choice, I guess, to have the season opener be a semi one-off type of thing with a couple of things that you want to stay tuned for.
Yeah, it wasn't a solution. It wasn't there wasn't a cliffhanger at the end of season 2, which made it hard. But season 3 could have opened with like, this is what's going to be happening this season. Like you said, I was disappointed not only in this general storyline, but also with the choice of characters that they used, the Tamara and Isaac
oh my God,
characters.
I hated them so much.
I really disliked them. I did not like the performers and I didn't like the characters.
No.
It's one thing to be handed a shit character, but you make the most of it. But I was like, I did not like these two. They had no chemistry. They were not married. And they were so beat you over the head stereotypical with the whole, honey, where are my car keys? Where did you put your car keys? You would be lost without me if you couldn't. It's like, oh my God.
They were so bland.
Bland. Ugh. And
I didn't really
I didn't care. I didn't
that he
care.
died.
Right.
I mean, it made me like puke a little bit, but how he died.
But it wasn't because we cared about them. It was just that's a horrific death for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't care that she was, running out the door, other than the fact that she now endangered the rest of the gang with her stupidity again. So I didn't like them.
And some of that has to be on the writing team as well, and the director, because you could build there's a way to build chemistry between people.
Yeah, no,
you can fake it.
No, there was more chemistry between Dean and Lust and his, electorate than there was.
Twins.
Yes.
So anyway, let's
we'll let that one go.
The kibosh on episode 1. The bupkis.
That's right. There's Bupkis. We've been waiting a week in Bupkis.
Which made me think, maybe one of maybe the twins were Jewish.
Thank you for that. What's next episode?
All right. Our next episode is The Kids Are All Right. And I see a picture here on IMDb, and I'm excited.
Oh, really? Is this someone we know?
Yes.
Yay! I haven't looked, so I'm excited.
But again, it's just like, wow, this happens now. This is early, but
this is one of those episodes. Okay. All right.
So
I can't wait to go and look.
It'll be a good one. I think next week will be a really good one. I think. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please like us, follow us, subscribe to us, rate us anywhere you can rate podcasts. And good news, we are now at Salt and Burn This everywhere on social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, maybe TikTok. I think we are on TikTok, but
we've done at least 2 TikToks, so we are on TikTok. People,
we are on TikTok. I'm not 100% sure what our tag is. So please be sure to follow us and like us and all of that everywhere. We're easy to find now. Woohoo! And we will see you next week for The Kids Are All Right.
Kids are all right.
Just I feel like a synthesizer should be like playing underneath us right now.
Little guitar.
All right, that's enough.
Bye.
Bye. Jesus Christ.